Yo, what's going down, Green Screen Entertainment fans? Your homie Jay Green back yet again with another review, and right now I'm going to give you my thoughts and feelings on Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now, this movie stars Michelle Yeoh, Stephanie Hsu, Short Round, James Hong, and Jamie Lee Curtis. And this movie was directed by Dan Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. Alright fam, now for those of y'all out there who have no idea what Everything Everywhere All at Once is all about, on the surface, we basically have Michelle Yeoh, who's a Chinese immigrant, right? And she gets swept up in a situation where she's approached by her husband from another world, another universe, another dimension, if you will, and tells her, look, you and you alone are the only one that can stop this impending doom that will destroy all of the multiverse. All of the universes, all of the worlds that ever were and ever will be are going to go up in flames unless you defeat this bad guy. That's what's on the surface. But underneath, this movie is about friendship, loyalty, love, family, a mother and daughter's relationship, a husband and wife's relationship, people in the world that feel like there's no love for them. Why should I care at all about anything? All of that is jammed into this damn movie. And you know what? These guys did a phenomenal effing job. Now, I'm going to break this down very vague because this movie is phenomenal. I'm not trying to spoil anything for it because it's got a lot of things that jump off in the film that you kind of need to see for the first time. And I do really suggest and really hope that you go to see it in the movie theater with the largest audience on the biggest screen possible, because it is really that type of movie that is going to get such a response from the audience that I think it really increases the warmth and the enjoyment and the laughter and the sentimental portions of the film, like when you see it with a group of people, because it's really about a lot of different things that people deal with and people think about like all the damn time. So with all that said, I think that this multiverse film might be better than Doctor Strange's multiverse film, might be better than Spider-Man No Way Home multiverse film, might be better than any Marvel multiverse film. What I'm saying is, when you understand what is really at stake for Michelle Yeoh's character in this film, or for her husband's character, or her daughter, or Jamie Lee Curtis's character, these characters are dealing with things that throughout the film, they're obviously not taking like super seriously when they kind of show you what they're dealing with. But as it gets closer to the end of the movie, there's a large amount of emotional weight that is tied in to each character's feelings, motivations, and thoughts. And so as you're watching this super crazy, bombastic, loud extravaganza of nuttiness, in the end, it somehow pulls it back and you almost get a little right here, I'm not going to play with you. So that's the film as itself. But I do want to say that all the acting was phenomenal. Michelle Yeoh, she's been around. We're talking about Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. She was in Tomorrow Never Dies, 007, right? Crazy Rich Asians. And she was also recently in Shang-Chi. This woman can throw down. Okay, so when we talk about badass women in film, I think maybe her name doesn't get mentioned a lot in American cinema, but she's known world renowned. And if you have a good taste of martial arts and kung fu in your cinema background, you will know the name Michelle Yeoh. And if you don't know it, when you see this movie, you're going to know it after that, because she be kicking ass, taking names. Now, of course, with any film that is dealing with some kind of like, layered dimensions, worlds, universes, and whatnot, there's going to be a heavy amount of exposition, especially depending on when these things are coming to fruition in the story that we're watching. So if you think about something like Doctor Strange, just because it's an easy reference, there's going to be a certain amount of exposition, but not as much as there would be if this was the first installment to a superhero film of this nature. But because we've had like 10 years with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the exposition should be to a minimum. So we expect to go in there and get a little bit of this, but probably just more of the action playing out. For a movie like this, where we're just first being introduced to these characters, to this whole premise, to this whole understanding, to what she's really dealing with and fighting and battling against, there's a whole bunch of exposition. But what I thought that the directors did extremely well was casting Ke Huy Quan. I'm sorry if I messed up the name, but this dude who played Short Round way back in the day in Indiana Jones was phenomenal. He's like the right type of guy that you would see him as a non-threat, non-lethal, but he is kicking ass and taking names as well in this film. But he does a great job at playing one character in the real universe that Michelle Yeoh's character is in at the time, and then he'll flip it to who he is in another dimension. Like he totally has an understanding of martial arts, gunplay and all this type of stuff. And he's really great with the way that he can change his mannerisms, tonalities, and all of that type of stuff, and his emotions when giving certain levels of dialogue, if it's exposition or if it's just like, talking about their relationship, or maybe something to motivate her to actually go in this direction instead of going back to her normal life, fighting the good fight, that type of thing. This guy is playing so many different levels, and he's playing them so well. And for me personally, I haven't seen this guy in a lot of things that I've recognized him in. So maybe I caught him in one movie here or there, but didn't realize that's really who it was. In this film, he is front and center, and he is killing it. Jamie Lee Curtis playing the IRS, tax lady and whatnot. She looks like what I might assume someone at the IRS or the DMV would look like. You know what I'm saying? Certain mannerisms and things like that. And just, I don't know how to explain it, but the way that the set was designed, the things that the people are wearing, the responses, the facial expressions, I really feel like I'm interacting with some people that are really going through some shit or have been through some shit. So I love that feeling because I was invested in this world the entire time I'm watching it. So even though it's like batshit crazy, I kind of feel like I'm there. And if a movie can do that, let alone a movie like this where stuff is just outlandishly unbelievable and you feel like you're there, homie, you won. One thing that I think really worked for this film was the family dynamic. If their dynamic wasn't as well developed as it was in like the very beginning of the movie, we're going kind of through their laundromat and there's all these different dialogues and discussions that are going on like super quick and almost like real time, it feels like, right? And while we're going through these things, we're learning so much about what's going on with this family, what's going on with the daughter, the husband, the mom, and the dad, where their mentalities are at. And all of this kind of sets us up for her journey throughout the film. And I thought that was done phenomenally. So before I get up out of here, I'm going to leave you with this. This movie poses a lot of questions, right? There's a whole lot of different things that it says and that it's speaking to throughout the film. I'm sure that a whole bunch of it went over my head. And again, a lot of the times in certain films, especially like this, a lot of it is left up to your own interpretation. How do you see it? What's your opinion? What's your thought process when you're taking all these things in? But what I loved about it was, while it's posing all these different questions about life, love, friendship, loyalty, you name it, right? While it's posing all these questions and making you think a little bit about how you feel about that, it still gives us direct answers to what's happening with this family. Sometimes in a movie, you see some things jumping off and it really leaves you wondering at the end. It's an extremely vague ending, but we know what's jumping off with this family. We don't know where this family is going to go, right? But we know what's happening with this moment in time, this family in time, and did they resolve this particular issue? And I love that about the film. So if you want more independent films, if you want more fresh, new ideas, new stories, and things of this nature moving forward, you gotta go support with your dollar, like I said the other week, right? If you want something that's not so paint by the numbers based in, the executives in the studio and whatnot, not to say that those aren't fun, because trust me, I love those too. But think about it. We got this film right here. We got Matt Reeves' Batman. And while Batman has been around for like 80 damn years, this is a different Batman movie than we've ever seen before. Something that was brave, something that was different, took its time, and it also pulls from a lot of super old films, Hitchcockian type flair and things like that. It's very original in what it is. So if you want more movies like that, remember, you got to go show that love and you got to show that support, and you're going to get something that you've never seen before and it's going to make you feel a type of way. Yo, I really enjoyed this movie. I'm definitely going to pick it up on 4K or Blu-ray whenever it comes out for sure. I think it's worth all that, and I think y'all should go check it out too. Yo, comment below when you see it. Let me know what you actually thought about it. Other than that, your homie Jay Green, I'm out.